Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Jerry Monyok, your host of today's Monday morning call here. Hey, just waiting for a few people more here to trickle in here, and we'll get the call going. But I'm going to be hosting your call today, and look forward to sharing some good information with you guys. And we'll get the call going here, and maybe about another minute here. Just going to give people a few minutes, so we'll get the call going. So hold tight. If you're just jumping in to join us for this morning's call, just waiting for everybody to kind of get on in here, and then we'll get things going. This is Jerry Monyok. I'm your host this morning, and looking forward to sharing some valuable information with you guys. So maybe just another, 20, 30 seconds here, and we'll get the call rolling. All right. Well, we'll get the call rolling here. Happy Monday morning to y'all. Jerry Monyok here. Some housekeeping notes here. So next week will be Labor Day weekend, so we will not be having a call. So I hope you guys enjoy that time. It's gorgeous up here in Minnesota right now. Feels a little more like fall, which is good and bad. But so next week's call we won't have one due to Labor Day, and then the week after that, actually our very own Dan Wilkie and Nate Beckman, they're going to be hosting the call that week, and they'll have some good information for you guys. So one of the things, as a lot of times I always do, I'm always talking about product and items like that. I wanted to share with you guys. NASA has a pretty unique product, and they have this calculator really to kind of demonstrate this too as well. And I'll show you what it is. And I've became more and more. It's a neat tool. Essentially, it's an income rider, and this income rider I think dovetails really well with Social Security planning, or just any gap income planning in general, because what you're allowed to do with on this product is, and I'll go through this calculator, and it's something you guys have access to as well, is sometimes you'll have cases where you'll have someone where, you know, you're doing planning, but maybe they're 65 years old and they don't want to turn on Social Security till 70, and so in reality, you're like, hey, I could start that income rider at age 65, but really, you know, maybe it's $5,000 a month is the amount of income that they're looking for, but they're going to pick up another 3,000 at Social Security time at age 70. So we don't want to put as much money into that annuity. We just need a gap for 5 years where it's a little higher. And then I need to make up for when I turn on Social Security at 70 for 3,000, I only need $2,000 at that point in time in the future. And I want it guaranteed for life. So in the past, sometimes we'd say, all right, well, let's do like a 5-year period certain for 5 years, and then we'll start an income rider at age 70. That's one way that we would do it. But sometimes I run into situations where it's like, hey, I need a higher amount of income for maybe 2 years. Well, what do I do then? I don't really have a 2-year SPIA. And so what this product lets us do, it lets us kind of customize the income payment. So I can customize it to have a higher payment earlier, pretty much any dollar amount. That's what I'm going to show you. And then we could drop that income down at a later date, and it's guaranteed for life, and helps us really maximize our funds. So I'll actually use one of those examples. We have valued client. We'll just say we're single. And one of the simple ones I was kind of talking about, let's say we got, person's got 250 grand here, and we can kind of play. Let's say we got 250 grand, and I'm going to retire, let's say years till retirement. I'm going to retire right away. And then for early income right here, let's just say I need 2,000 a month. So early income period, let's say I want it for 5 years and 2,000 a month. So let's just say 24,000 right there. So then it would give me $24,000 a month right here. Excuse me, a year. So 24,000 a year for 5 years. It's going to pay it. They do this nice little illustration, and then it's going to drop down to basically a little over $1,000 a month after those 5 years. So it really helps with some of the planning. And I could say, all right, hey, I want to do this, but I don't even necessarily need 14,000 a year. Maybe I just need 1,000. So what we could do is I could actually go down here and say, all right, let's hear, maybe we can do it at 200,000. So what's the max it'll give me in my early income? So this is the maximum amount. Let's see here, minimum early income. So the maximum is 20,000. So I need a little more than that. So let's say maybe it's 225. So now my maximum is 22. I still do need, so it really looks like 250. Let's see, 235. Let's go there, 235. This gets me to about it, 240. So for a 5-year period, in order to get 24,000 a year, I want to max it out. So give me 24,000, then boom, I'm down here at about 13,000, setting it back here. So it'd be $24,000 I'd be paying out for the client for 5 years, so $2,000 a month, and then at age 70, when I turn on my Social Security, it drops down to 13,000, and the Social Security can fill in there. And so this is a way to be able to do it with using a minimum amount of premium. Or it could be another scenario. Let's say I need 2,000 a month for, let's say I'm 68 years old. I'm going to retire right away, and I only need this income for 2 years. Okay, so I only need it for 2 years. My maximum here is 29. So amount I could get with this. So I don't need as much income here to get 2,000. So I drop it down 200. Let's go. Even go probably 190 here. I need a little bit more. 195. So right here, this gets me 24,000. So I got $24,000 for 2 years, and then Social Security is going to kick in, and then I'm going to be at $1,000 a month. So it allows me to help me get these gaps. Only was 195 to do it, and then this number is guaranteed. So it's 24. I get a higher amount, 2,000 a month, so 24,000 a year for 2 years. That's my gap. And then let's say I'm going to have my Social Security kick in. Maybe it's going to be $1,000 a month. The other 1,000 is made up. This number is guaranteed for life. This is what the premium payment. This is what the payment's going to be to my client for the rest of their life. And so it just really allows us with some planning here to be a little bit more creative. There's no other products out there that are doing this, and so I just find it really nice. So if you guys are doing any Social Security gap planning and trying to figure that out, you can give the guys a call. We can work through these with you. You can tell me, hey, we're going to start. By the way, I do have Social Security software too as well, where I can run Social Security maximization reports. Most of the time, if someone's going to live to be age 85, they're healthy, because to me, Social Security maximization really kind of matters. Like how long are you going to live? Like it kind of depends on how long you're going to live. And so we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know that. Typically when I run them at about 85, 84, but I can run those reports, and then you can kind of dovetail this software and kind of this planning strategy along with it. And I think this is a really cool, really kind of a cool product that's out there, allows you to do it. Just offers more flexibility, and I think the guarantees are nice. We can still do it the old school way where you use a SPIA. Where I think this is great is because you can do these 2-year gaps on this and set it up. We could even say, hey, I don't want to start Social Security till 68, and let's say they're 65 years old. They're 65, so years till retirement. So still, now we have a little deferral in here because it was 195 for that. So here we'll defer for 3 years. now we need even less income to accomplish this here too as well. So let's say my max income now being to have 3 years of deferral because I'm buying at 65, maybe it's 165 to accomplish the same thing, but now we have some deferral. Yeah, right there. That's a good guess. So basically, I buy it at 65. They want to retire at 68. It defers for 3 years. It only took 165K. It's going to pay 2 years at 24,000, and then $1,000 a month at age 70 when they turn on Social Security. So let's see here. So I was gonna let's see here. I was gonna spend a little time going over some product with you guys. I was about to tell you guys we're gonna have a shorter call, but looks like we got the website up and running again because I couldn't get into Annuity Rate Watch. So good for us. We're able to here to get in and talk a little bit about products. So Income Accelerator. This is that's what this is called. You can say, hey, Jerry's income planning product. This is a tool to be able to play with it and kind of figure it out, but it's called the Income Accelerator from NASA. I think it's an awesome product. And a little bit more of the call here. I'm glad we got this back here. I wanted to talk a little bit about product here. And for those of you guys who have never used this, so you come into the ECA website, when you log in, here's Annuity Rate Watch. Great tool. We're always happy to run quotes, talk product with you guys. That's kind of what we do. Making sure that you're all buttoned up, you know exactly what to use. But you guys can always dig around in here too as well. And there's some cool features on here. So typically I'll always go to state here when we're searching. I kind of call this the Annuity Bible because it has all the carriers on here. It's everything on here. It's a nice one-stop shop, easy place to go look at product. I use it all the time. You've seen me do this on calls before. It's always important to select the state that you're operating in. But some of the search features, things to be able to do. So, and a couple products I want to make sure you guys are aware of too as well. So, by the way, Athene did boost their bonus up. So, in some states it's 22, others it's 20. But I like to use the advanced search here whenever I'm looking for bonus products. Go down here, we got the 10% bonus, premium bonus here. So I want it, everything to be, I'm setting the search to be 10% or higher. We're going to look at bonus products a little bit here. And I'm going to search from highest to lowest. I'm going to get rid of the 15 years. I don't really want to use those, but a couple, let's see here. I'm going to eliminate, we're going to look just at 10 years. So we can do set our search here. Okay, here we go. So just like I was talking about here, so you have the Athene here, in case you guys didn't notice, depending on what state you're in. A lot of the non-compact states, they raised their premium bonus up to 22%, just like a week or two ago. So just a heads up to you guys on that. It's got the 0.95 fee. If you're in Texas or I think Colorado, some of those states, some of the compact states, it's at 20. But I think it's in terms of one of the bonus products that are out there right now with good rates on it. 6.25 cap. Athene's right at their top. We use them for Roth conversion quite a bit. North American's Charter 10 at 21%. They do have a 0.95 fee as well, 6.5 cap. Both pretty good carriers for doing replacements too. So one of the things to keep looking for out there too, guys, is always kind of, evaluating, looking at their old cases and whatnot, seeing where the caps and rates are. You can send that stuff over to Dan and Nate, and they'll take a look at that stuff for you and see if there's any opportunity to improve out there. Some of the other American National, they just dropped a new big bonus product, offering some pretty good comp, 7.25, 20% bonus. They got a 0.95 fee as well. One of the things just to note when you guys are looking at this, if you guys are coming across this, so they have these different allocation models that they talk about, and so you'll see you're like, oh, how come this one here shows it's got a 7% S&P cap on it, and this one's got 5.5? Like, what gives? What's the difference? Everything's kind of the same. With them, this is their custom allocation. This is their moderate. On their, in order to get the higher cap, so if you want to choose whatever index allocation you want, you got to look at the rates under custom, and you'll see they have S&P cap at 5.5, S&P Mark 5, dynamic intraday, a couple indexes. You can put as much as you want into any index. So if you just want pure cap, it's going to be 5.5%. So you look here, you see a 7% S&P cap, and you're like, well, why wouldn't I take that? Well, not that it's bad or there's anything wrong with it, but if you want the higher cap, you're having to choose their custom allocation. And so what it is they already have a preset allocation of how much is in each strategy if you want the higher cap. I know when I was looking at it on their website, I think it puts about 25 to 30% in the S&P cap. So if you want the higher cap, it only puts about 25 to 30% in it. But I think this is kind of a cool product here. You get a higher bonus in it. It's one of the decent bonus products that are out right now. Right here, had a few guys using this, Farmer's Harvest, Farmer's Life, if you guys haven't heard about them. 18% bonus, has a 0.95 fee. So it's similar to like some of those other higher bonus products. But right here, a pretty high cap, 7.5% S&P cap. We go up to like Athene and North American who we're checking out here, 6.25, 6.5 cap. Farmers is kind of bringing the heat here a little bit with a 7.5% S&P cap. Solid comp too, 7.5% up to age 75, and 18% bonus. You know, right here, right behind them, NASA. We're just talking about their income product, 18% bonus, 0.95 fee, really competitive cap. So if you kind of want, you know, the trick, what I'm seeing there is that, you know, with the fee, if you have a slightly, you're kind of trading off from like North American and Athene, a little less bonus, but you get higher cap. So sometimes it matters. It depends on who the client is, or if you're doing a replacement, you know, you obviously kind of the keys are is, you know, if you're replacing a product, is being able to offset any of the loss from a surrender, and then being able to improve on the rate. So, you know, one of these product, you know, there might be a product out there that you have where, you know, the bonus is good, but you're not able to improve on the rates. This is one you might want to look at because you can get a significantly better rate in the 7.5, 7.75 range there. Pretty nice. I know they're coming up here. F&G, heads up everybody. I know a lot of have used this product, their Performance Pro. This is kind of their bonus growth product. They actually upped their premium bonus to 17%. And it does depend on age, so I know some of the older ages that lowers down. This is really kind of a no-fee product, too. I like that. They just have the 10 basis point fee on it, which is significantly less than a lot of the other 0.95 fees. 6.25 S&P cap. I know they got a gold index in there. A lot of people like this product. They bumped their comp up to 8%. Street comp's 8%. So I do like the F&G products quite a bit. And then here's one, if you haven't heard of them, Revel One. They're Endurus 10%, Endurus 10 bonus. 16%. They got a 16% bonus on it. No fee. 7% S&P cap, 7.5 comp. Pretty cool, no fee. Great rate on it. One of the other things that is really awesome about Revel One is kind of their service model and how quickly they do everything. So 75% of their apps that you do there, so they're fully e-application. You go on and you can use Firelight to it, but 75% of their applications get approved while you're doing the application. It's done computerized. It just looks through it, knows, boom, it's approved. And then the other 25% go and a human actually looks at it and has to do suitability on it because maybe it's a little bit outside of kind of the auto issue parameters. And so things can move really quick. And so a result of that, you know, you get done with an app and the thing gets approved in 5 minutes. The cool part is two things. A lot of when you do the transfer paperwork, typically it's going to go out that day. Right away that day then, because it gets approved in the suitability, transfer paperwork is going to go out that day. If it ends up being a cash with app, they don't take checks, but what they do is they allow you to fill out ACH draft information for that payment for the policy versus sending in a check. So they'll actually verify and do an ACH that day. If the ACH checks and sees there's money in the account, then they'll go ahead and issue the policy and then send out compensation. So you could literally, if you're writing Revel One, write a policy and have comp go out that day, you know, if it's a really clean application. So that's kind of I've had some guys that really love the speed and efficiency that Revel One works with. NASA operates that way, and so does the Speeda too as well. So kind of going down through here, those are kind of the higher products. There's a speed I was kind of talking about. They work really quickly too as well. Depending on the situation, I would say most of the top bonus products most people are using are in this top kind of 25 that I was kind of going through and showing you here. But this is how you can kind of go in and you can dig in, and here's all the pretty much the top bonus growth type of products that are out there. I'm going to get rid of premium bonus, do a search on a few other kind of unique options and indexes that are out there. See what we got out here. Interday, I want to show you guys the interday a little bit. Actually, one of the carriers, if you guys aren't aware of them, Axonic, right here, Axonic, they have their Trailhead series. So Trailhead 10, 7, and 5. If you haven't heard of Axonic, they're A-rated, max issue age to age 89 on their 10, 7, and 5-year product. Look at the rates on this thing. S&P cap, 10.75%. Fixed rate, 5.05. And one of the things to note here, they pay full comp till age 89. As you guys know, most of the time carriers and products, once you get past age 80, a lot of them past 75, they really cut the compensation down. And most products that I would say for someone who's over age 85 are paying like 2 to 3%, maybe max. You can get a 7-year, a 5-year, a 10-year, and get full compensation at age 89, which is very unique. And so a lot of the older clients, because you can get a great product and you actually get paid, a lot of people are looking at Axonic. I mean, look here, I'll click on the 7-year. It's the same rates across the board. But high band, 100,000 plus, 10.75 S&P cap, 22% S&P cap if you do it over 2 years. I don't think you get enough leverage going from a 1-year to a 2-year to do that. So I would probably stay away from it. Other index in here I really like is this S&P 500 Dynamic Interday TCA. We talked about that index on that NASA product that we were looking at, where you have the increasing rates on it with the bonus. Same index. So it's a 15%. A lot of times you look at a vol control and you're like, man, vol controls just stink. I've had clients in them and they haven't got it in, they don't get return when the markets are going up. It's really frustrating. Well, S&P Dynamic Interday, again, it allows for 15% of the volatility. So it's capturing generally about 90 to 95% of what the S&P 500 is at, all the time. So it's not, it's cash in S&P 500, and it allows for a lot of volatility. So it stays in the S&P even when it's volatile. Almost, the regular S&P itself, I think, is at 17% volatility. So runs right around there. So it's capturing the majority of it. But they're giving us an 80% participation rate, which is awesome. That's a great par rate. And then one of the other cool parts is, see this little lock here? That means that the rates on this is 80% par rate is guaranteed on this product for the length of the term here. Pretty awesome. They even guarantee their fixed rate for 2 years too as well. So it's a nice little option where you can go and get some fixed account. I like what these guys are doing. They got some good product right now and fits a lot of really good needs. So that's one to think about, especially for older age clients.
Hey,
Certainly.
Jerry.
Yeah.
We have a question on how are they for replacements?
Oh, that's a great question. Thanks for I should probably pull it up so I can see when questions come up. But they're reasonable. Now, I mean, they don't have a premium bonus on it, so that's one part that's a little challenging. I want to say, I think I had heard that they'll take somewhere in the 3 to 4% net loss. If you can make a good case. I mean, certainly, a lot of carriers, with having the fixed rate at 5.05, year one, a lot of carriers will kind of look at that as a little bit of a bonus. If you have a couple cases in particular you want me to dig in for you, Nate or Dan or myself can do it. But, they don't have the bonus, but I think they will allow for some net loss. But we can talk about that specific case. Yeah, if anyone else has questions, yeah, keep throwing them at me. That's a good one. Few other things. In Global Atlantic, they dropped their bonus past age 80. So they were nice for replacements past age 80. They have it till age 80, but 81 and up, they don't have the premium bonus anymore. And that's where, I was talking about that American National product earlier for some older clients. If you need a premium bonus, they give their premium bonus, this 20 percenter, till age 85. So they're another option that's nice that has a premium bonus at older ages. One of the other ones too as well was American Life. American Life has, at the older ages, go down here, you got 20 to 23% bonus. This is till age 85 as well. 80 basis point fee, 6% cap. So at some of those older ages, that can be a great option there. If we're talking, those are some of the bonus, Chad. If we're talking some pure growth that's out there right now, Lincoln can be kind of interesting. I want to go through this, show you guys. Lincoln's got some interesting stuff. They got, I'm going to go to the high band here. We all like the high band. They got the daily risk control trigger here at 10%. So yes, that's not pure S&P. Like their regular trigger here is at 8.05. So if you're not familiar with the trigger, I think a lot of you guys are because we talk about it. If the market is flat or better at all, they give you the trigger rate. The market's positive generally 7 out of 10 years, 7 in a bad period, but at least 7 to 10 out of a 10-year period. So that means 7 out of 10 years, you're probably going to be getting credit at 8.05. The DRC right here, the S&P 10% daily risk control trigger at 10, I think I'd probably consider that here because the danger, what people don't like on vol controls is that, you're not going to get as much maybe return you're thinking, but I just need this thing to be positive at all. I don't care if it returned 1% every year because it would be positive and I would get a 10% return. So they have a standard trigger, if you're a little sketchy on risk controls, but the risk control is at 10. I think I'd probably go here. But they're given also, multiple options you can go into. They got a 60% S&P participation rate, annual point-to-point cap, like that, and then just the standard caps at 9.65. Pretty solid fixed rate here, and then this is your standard 10-year opti blend, pays 7% comp. I like to free withdrawals year one if you want. Really a reasonable surrender schedule, starts at 9%. Lincoln's not, they're really just kind of in the accumulation game. I think that this is, is a pretty nice product. Delaware Life is real similar to these guys, in that their target growth 10 here. We got a whopping cap right now here, guys. 10%, 10.3%, 60% par rate, pretty similar to like Lincoln. Trigger's a little lower. They don't have the DRC trigger like Lincoln does, but kind of like Exonic, they have that S&P Interday with an 80% par rate. I like that. That's an awesome par rate there at 80%, 4.85 fixed. Got some great just growth products. And Delaware has their 7-year too. If you like, a little shorter term, pretty competitive, 10% cap. 10% cap, 7.85 trigger, good par rate at 55. Man, I think back, 7-8 years ago. Like the kind of rates that we have right now are just fantastic. Great bond alternatives out there. Kind of look maybe some shorter. I'm just trying to see here some things, that are solid. Those are some of the solid growth products that I like out there right now. I always like F&G on the bonus. Equitrust, if you're looking for, just some great renewal rate too as well, just some great renewal rate. I've always liked Equitrust. They have great service. For a no bonus or a no fee bonus product, I like this market power bonus. There's a lot of states, and there's some states it's 14, but there's a lot of states this is actually a 10-year product, and it's 15% bonus, no fee, 6.5 cap. that can be great. It's a good product for Roth conversions too as well. But they have their market value. Excuse me, for a pure growth play here. Right stage 85 now. They don't have bands, so for those of you like maybe have a lower premium below 100 grand, they don't have bands. So I mean, they start off the lowest premium you can put in this thing. Initial premiums $10,000, and then it's not banded. So I mean, you can get a 10% S&P cap. Even at the lowest premiums. They got not a lot of carriers are doing the monthly point to point here. They got one at 3%. They do have the performance trigger here at 8. But they have here it is, the dynamic interday TCA with par 85% participation. That index is getting more and more popular because it's legit. It actually gets returns on it because of the 15% volatility trigger. But Equitrust is a great carrier. 10% free withdrawal after year one. You can get interest only in the first year if you'd like. I think this is a solid product, and it writes to older ages. But bonus, they're probably better. Their replacement probably, you got market 10 with 11% there, 15 here with the market power. I kind of replacement wise, Delaware Life, like we said, was pretty good. Athene, North American Charter 10. And then there's still a number of carriers out there, like depending on the replacement, just looking at them, talk to us about them, because when you're doing them, some carriers have hard lines at 2 years. They won't do any replacement regardless. If the policy's not 24 months old, some carriers are at 36 months. There are a few that are, will consider if the story makes sense at 12 months. So there's a lot of different, options that are out there to be looking at. But that's what I wanted to kind of maybe show you here on some of on the FIA front, kind of what's been going on, some of the real competitive stuff that's out there. I'll flip to income riders real quick. This is a really easy tool for income planning too as well, guys. You just come up here, rider quoting. Go to rider quoting here. You put in their name. Let's put my name in there, Jeremiah. 60 years old. I'll use Texas for you guys. Let's use Texas. Put in 100 grand. And this is a kind of a little point too as well. I have a lot of people sometimes will come to me and say, "Hey, I want to do a SPIA. I need to start income immediately," not realizing actually FIA with an income rider starting immediately is beating most life SPIAs that I'm seeing out there right now. Especially if you put a life with cash refund on there. There's really no need to really do that anymore. So here's kind of what some of the top products are. If I was 60 and I was starting immediately right now, we got Prudential's trying to get a little bite of the business right now. Generally, I see F&G is coming up at the top. This is actually a MIGA fixed product, but F&G is coming in really good here. Prudential's coming up there right now. These are some of your immediates. Athene, some of your immediate income products. Take a look, maybe like a 3-year deferral. See what's popping up real high on there right now. See what we got here. Takes just a couple minutes here for it to process. Right here, so in a 3-year deferral, 100 grand, 60-year-old, this is what I've been seeing quite a bit. F&G's been coming up. They've really priced the safe income advantage to win in a lot of scenarios. Again, it has the doubler on here. Delaware Life, their True Path product, right up there at the top. They have the 2 of 680L doubler on here too as well. It's not nursing home. Same with American General. Rates, you're going to get a little better rates with Delaware, but in my opinion, rates don't matter as much when I'm doing guaranteed lifetime income, because I really want them to put the maximum amount as they can into giving me the highest guaranteed payment that I can get. And then lastly, let's kind of pop it out here, maybe like 8 years. I kind of like income riders more in the 1 to 5 year deferral period, depending on the person's situation, just because otherwise, depending on flexibility in someone's situation, I might do a growth product for a while just so that you have flexibility. But every situation's kind of different. Stretching it out here to age, 8 years of deferral. Clear Springs trying to jump in here and get a piece of the business. You see Delaware is still up here. F&G is still up here. They're kind of really just, American General again here. They're really saying, hey, we want this guaranteed lifetime income type of business. I think they're all great, solid carriers. I don't want to steal. Nate's going to do a call and get in a little more depth on Delaware here in 2 weeks. I don't want to steal his thunder. He's got some great details to be able to share on that. And then when you're doing this, I've had people, they like to break out this income rider software, do it right in front of a client. If you know it really, really well, you'll feel kind of comfortable. And you can kind of do some, you can kind of filter it out a little bit too as well. Like I always filter off the products where they do depleted benefits, where it gives you a higher amount first, but then it drops when the client, when the account value reaches zero, and it reduces income by half, just because I don't want to go through that. But I could say, hey, I only want products that show enhanced benefits. I want products that have no rider fee. I want A-rated only. Or, a carrier may have multiple riders and multiple products. I just want the top one. So you can kind of go through here, and then you can do an illustration. I can say, hey, I want to compare the top three here. You guys have probably seen these reports before. Select them, put your name on here, and creates a little PDF here for you. Typically we'll run all this stuff for you, but just wanted to show you how to do this. Has your info here, and then there's your report that you can walk through and show clients the guaranteed lifetime income. It's always kind of cool too, because it'll highlight the one, for the year, which one's paying the most if you're comparing them. So, well, that's what I want to give you guys a little update. Is there any other questions? Any questions, Allie? We'll give you guys a minute.
Yeah, I do. Is it best to use the assumed CPI and rates? Sorry.
Yeah. Is it best for the assumed rate, assumed CPI, is it best to use zero? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll talk about that for a minute. So I always put it at zero, because when I'm running this, I want to go based off of the guarantees that the product is gonna perform at. I want to see guarantees on it. Now, if I wanted, I never really use the CPI, but I could say, hey, I want to put in a guaranteed 3% return. So it's not going to do a hypothetical on it, but it'll just assume like it's earning 3% each year, which is maybe a reasonable rate of return on it. And then it'll make some of the performance-based income riders show up a little bit better. For me, I like to be able to show the guarantees. If I'm going to run the performance-based products, I kind of have a good idea of how I know they kind of work, right? And so I'm kind of looking at a case and saying, maybe, I want something with some increasing income. I'm just going to go to the carrier website and probably run it. And a lot of times if I'm doing that, I might do like a split case where it's like, I'm going to put 100 grand in a guaranteed product, and then I'll just go run 100 grand on a performance-based product on their website. And that way I can have that, a little blend of guarantee and increasing income. But I generally, when I'm running this, I want to know what the guarantees are. And so I just leave the assumed rate of return at zero. So I just know flat out, what is the bottom line guarantee? That's a really good question. Any others, Allie?
Nope, that's it.
Well, guys, so a couple things. So that NASA Income Accelerator product, it's a unique product. I think this is a really cool play when it comes to planning. I'll bring it up if we're working on a case, if you're talking with us, and I think it's a fit there. But just keep it in mind, because sometimes you don't even think about it. We can really customize income where we have more early, if we want, and it's cool because we can customize how much of that as well, which I think is really neat. And then again, like I was talking about earlier, replacements are still alive too. I mean, still be looking for opportunities where you can improve a client scenario. even if it's income rider products too as well. If there's some income riders you have set up, and have those conversations too. Sometimes I've had people that have, maybe purchased some income riders 5, 6, 7 years ago, and then their situations changed, and maybe the income rider isn't the right fit, and maybe it's getting them into a growth product. And there are some nice enhanced DB products out there too as well. So, if you have a client that has a sum of money they can't get underwritten for life insurance, there are some great enhanced death benefit products out there as well. I know Global Atlantic has Global Atlantic. We could talk about that a little bit. Global Atlantic has their guaranteed roll up. If you guys don't remember it, so here I'm going to pull it up. There for accumulation right here. Uh, for accumulation on its own is a pretty good product. It's a 9.25 S&P cap, 8% trigger. I like that. They do have a guaranteed locked cap at 7.25, which is pretty slick. But they have their death benefit rider right here. Death benefit rider here, where it is a 10% roll up rate for 15 years, up to age 70 here, and it's only 75 basis points. If you're between 71 and 80, then it's a little more expensive. It's 1.20, but 15 years at 10% simple, I believe it is. Simple or compounding. I think it might be. It's usually, I believe it was simple, but I could be wrong on that. I can get you the answers if you have questions on that. But that's pretty awesome. Guaranteed double your account over 15 years for a guaranteed death benefit. And it is a lump sum DB as well. So that's something that can be stretched. I like that for a DB. Silac and Athene, just real quick, something to be aware of here. So Athene and then Silac, they have on their agility product. So on the agility 10, I got to show you guys this. Agility, where are you, agility? There it is, agility 10. This is kind of a nice DB product because their death benefit here, boom, 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 boom. Okay, here it is, 50% bonus. So they got a 50% bonus that goes towards the income and the death benefit. There's no fee on this, and bang, instantly you get a 50% bonus. Now for the and then it grows at, I believe, the account at 175%, or right here, 200% of the index, the multiplier on it. So if you get a 5% return, they credit 10% to the death benefit account. This can be an awesome DB play here. However, the death benefit does pay out. The enhanced DB pays out over 5 years. So it's not a lump sum like Global, but it is a nice option out there. Silac, quick, they have one similar to as well on, let's see, I want to find the bonus. The Evolve 10 bonus here. Let me look. Boom, 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 boom. No, this ain't the one. It's the Vega. We'll get rid of Athene off here. It'll make it easier to find. But their Vega has a big bonus on it too as well. So Vega bonus 10. I want to show you guys this. So Vega bonus 10. Here it is. Product's real similar, works in a similar manner. They also, right here to age 80, they have the 50% bonus as well that goes towards the death benefit. So 50% up to age 80, and then you get interest credits earned at 175%. So it's 200% on Athene there. So those are a couple of the nice enhanced death benefits. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the call. I think from time to time I like to go through, talk a little bit about product, show you guys what's kind of out there. Some of the new stuff, like I said, I thought NASA was a kind of a cool thing that you guys should be aware of. I hope you guys enjoy your week. I hope I gave you some ideas that that are helpful for you, that you can kind of take back. You might have some people that might be a good fit. I know some of you guys have been jumping in and doing some of the Roth marketing. I love that. It's good at investing into your business and helping yourselves grow. Again, thankful for you. I appreciate all of your guys' business, your guys' hard work out there, and love hearing from you and hearing a lot of exciting stories and things that are going on. But enjoy your Monday. That's what I got for you this week. Again, next week is off, and then Dan and Nate have the call the week final after that, the second week there in September. So enjoy your week, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.